Hey folks, welcome to our special December video series where we're going to be discussing everything Star Wars. With me today I have Ryan Solo.
Oh god.
I have Max Baca.
No.
Come on, you had to admit. I probably could have done it the other way around actually,
Yeah,
since
because
Ryan's got the call.
Ryan can actually do
do the
Chewbacca.
So Max Solo and Ryan Baca, I like that.
There we go.
sound.
Yay!
Erin, since there's only one woman in the entire series, you're going to have to be Leia.
I don't have a problem with that. Woman power.
And
but
then,
I didn't kiss a brother.
well,
No.
we don't have anyone pick out for Luke, so I don't know. You guys pick me. I don't want to be the guy who makes up all the names.
You can be Luke. You can be Aaron Skywalker.
How about Darth Aaron?
I'm okay with either. I mean, they're basically the same person at this point. We don't know. Possible spoilers for future movie we haven't seen.
We gotta sorta kinda have a villain, sorta kinda.
A little bit. So I will be your evil asshole for the video. Let's begin. So for my first evil deed, we're gonna discuss the prequel movies to kick things off. Yeah, I just saw that coming.
That was good.
So we're gonna break this down into different discussions for those who are just joining us. And the first video we're gonna be putting up is about the prequel movies. I'm gonna set a timer for about half an hour. We might go over. We'll see how it goes. Ready? So first off, guys, let's just start with the first question. Favorite movie in the prequels at all, if any?
Number 1. Because they had Liam Neeson.
Good answer. Good
Fair
answer.
point.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. It's been a long time since I've seen any of the Star Wars movies. I was meaning to watch them. Give me a minute. I'm going to.
How about you, Ryan?
The second prequel.
Second?
Yeah, second
Okay.
prequel.
Boo!
Any reason for this?
Wait, I'm trying to remember.
That's Attack of the Clones.
Boo!
They introduce Dooku. Yoda becomes a CGI thing.
Padme
Anakin's-
becomes Anakin's bitch.
Anakin's mom dies, and he becomes all whiny.
Okay, I kind of like Attack the Clones. Probably though, I do like the third and last one.
I won't argue on that one. The third one had its moments.
Yeah.
Ryan, how about you, man?
I would say the third one was my favorite actually of the three.
Oh wow, really?
Yep.
Okay, what's your reason for that one? Same basic thing, or?
Honestly, it was the build up to Anakin versus Obi-Wan. Because not only was the fight amazingly well done, but there was a whole like battle of like philosophy and like a bunch of levels in that fight. It was really, really great storytelling in my opinion. So the rest of the movie was okay, but that fight made it my favorite of the three.
That was a really good fight. I'm not gonna lie.
I think part of the reason why I liked the first one is because, one, Liam Neeson, that's my top reason. But also, I actually liked some of the characters in that movie. Despite Anakin's horrible acting, actually in all the movies, even though they were different actors.
To be fair, the kid was better. The little kid was better.
He was cute. I liked him. I liked Padme. I liked, Qui-Gon. And at that point, I did like Obi-Wan. Like, they were endearing characters. By the time it ended, I was just like, I don't give a fuck who dies. You guys are driving me crazy. You're all whining bitches.
Now, I do see your point, but I will say that Ewan McGregor did a consistently good job throughout the whole thing. Like, if any actor looked like he was having fun with the movies, he was.
Okay.
The guy was having
Ewan
fun.
McGregor was holding it down. Yeah.
I love Ian McGregor. Don't get me wrong. I love Ian McGregor, but he became a whiny bitch too throughout the. No. He became cocky. He became very cocky, and maybe that's just how the character is supposed to be. But when you have him going around going, "My young Padawan, my young Padawan, my young Padawan" to Anakin the entire time, it's like, shut up.
I think
Dude,
part of
he's
that,
not
though,
gonna-
was to try to keep Anakin in line, but I think that ultimately was what caused it to backfire.
He could have sounded less snobby about it.
He's trying to play a younger Sir Alec Guinness,
man.
and all British guys are cocky and arrogant. It's just a fact of life. So.
Ouch. Ouch.
It's cold but fair.
I don't
It's
agree with
cold
that.
but
I
fair.
will say I don't agree with that. Sorry, Tom Hiddleston and Benedict Cumberbatch. Jesus.
Now,
You're talking about the guy who plays Loki.
I know. But the real
That's like the
actor-
pinnacle of arrogance right there.
Okay, could you let's have a compromise then. It's not that all young British men are cocky, but they can come across as cocky very, very easily.
Oh yeah, that's not even a question.
oh yeah, that's
as character.
that's like a social thing though.
Yeah.
That's like, well, like when I say social, I mean like cultural. Actually, sorry, let me
Yeah.
rephrase
Yeah.
that.
Okay. So with that being said, then I guess we could say that most of our criticisms will not be aimed at Ewan McGregor. He's overall a pretty fun guy, pretty cool guy. So everything else we bash on, let it just be known, Ewan McGregor, you did a good job. You did good with what you had.
Well done, sir. Well done.
Well done.
So did Liam Neeson.
Good play. Good play.
For the 10 minutes he was on screen, yes.
Shut up. He saved that first damn episode, too.
It's like the movie Battleship. He was only on it for 10 minutes, but the minutes he was on there were the only minutes of that movie worth watching.
Wow.
Kill off the good characters. Why? he's
Because
like
they
the
cost too much.
He's like
They do
the
cost
Sean
too much.
Bean he's like Sean
It's
Bean.
like Fallout 3. They can only afford Liam Neeson for a little bit. They couldn't have him for the whole game. So
We love you, Liam Neeson.
I think that's a fair one, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we all know our favorite. Well, I didn't say mine. I'm gonna go with if I can't pick the Ashton Kutcher cut of the first episode, I'm gonna go episode 3 as well.
Okay.
Apparently, he cut the movie down, so it cut out all the pod racing, all of Jar Jar Binks. It was literally just Liam Neeson going around and fighting and talking, and then getting cut in half.
I would have been okay with that. Why, Liam Neeson? Why?
I think it reduced the runtime to maybe 20 minutes.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Boy, yeah.
Kind of like cutting out the Sam and Frodo bits in Lord of the Rings.
which is a better way to watch that movie.
Oh God, yes. God, yes. Yes.
Okay.
Good.
All right. So now that we know our favorite ones, I don't want to discuss the least favorite ones, but let's discuss like least favorite moments of the original trilogy. Like, what's the parts of the original trilogy that stick out to you as moments that this series just was not working at all?
Oh,
Anakin and Padme.
Yeah, that's
Literally.
I
every
feel like that
time
was
you-
an easy one right there for you.
like, oh no,
You're
like,
breaking my heart, Anakin.
okay, well here's the thing, right? If I remember correctly, which this may not be, so just tell me if I'm wrong.
I'm gonna assume you're remembering it correctly.
Okay, like the love scenes in the movie actually seemed a bit forced.
No,
Yeah,
you
no,
don't
that's a
say.
fair assessment.
Like,
Yeah, that's my criticism too. It's not a criticism on Natalie Portman.
No.
It's a criticism on the fact that her and Hayden Christensen had like zero chemistry.
Now,
Like
I will say that while they didn't have chemistry, the scenes where you just see Hayden Christensen and he's just using his physical presence and just kind of emoting that way, he has really good screen presence in those scenes where he's just by himself, just kind of reflecting and just thinking about things. And it's like he does a good job without speaking. I think it's when the corny dialogue of Lucas comes out that's when things fall apart.
That is very fair. I will give that to you. He does have a good on-screen presence. So it's just like whenever he shows up, I mean, especially if you're thinking episode 3, where he's just stalking through Mustafar, just killing everybody. He doesn't have to say a word. It's just sheer malice.
And I was
It's just
actually
I'm gonna
intimidated
murder
by that
all
scene
of
a
you.
bit. Like,
It's
that
a-
was
it's
really
a,
good.
It's a fact, and that was very good. I will give him props on that.
He's the only. Honestly, I think the only reason they hired him was for his glaring, because he had awesome glaring and glowering. But when he spoke, I wanted to punch him in the face.
And again, I feel like part of the problem was the dialogue Lucas. I think that very few people in that movie could deliver that dialogue with any kind of credibility.
yeah.
Well, it just like the relationship between him and Padme, his dialogue felt very forced, like he was trying to do too much with what crap he had. So yeah, I'll agree with you. Like I won't. Okay, I shouldn't bash the actor so much because the dialogue was pretty shitty. But he still sounded like he forced it too much.
You feel like he overcompensated? Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, like, in all honesty, though, who can blame him? I mean, if you looked at the script for the first time, you wouldn't say, oh man, this is pure art. You'd be like, what the bloody hell is this?
I'm beside myself. Really?
Anakin, you're killing younglings!
Anakin, you're breaking my heart!
Okay.
The word younglings every time makes me laugh. Like, you just see someone yelling about how he murdered a bunch of younglings. I'm just laughing my ass off, because, like, that word's so fucking horrible.
Well,
I wonder why they shied away from using the word children. It's
like, that to me would have had more impact.
Youngling is a term that they, at least in the books I've read, youngling is a term that they tend to use instead of children. I think they're trying to separate it apart a little bit more for whatever reason.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, I get it, but at the end of the day, he killed kids, and that's
I know.
bad. That's
And I mean, if you
horrible.
just said children, that would get the impact in your face right there. You would know, and there wouldn't be any kind of, there would be nothing confusing with it. It's just right there.
I mean, if you looked at the clip where Obi-Wan tells Padme that Anakin killed younglings, if you look at it closely, you can tell Ian McGregor's trying not to laugh as he says it.
I mean, here's the thing.
As you can tell, I would have failed miserably.
Oh yeah, me too.
You bring up another fact that, like, she said, Anakin, you killed younglings. Like, no shit.
No, but it wasn't that he was saying it to Anakin. He was saying it to Padme. He said, "I've seen the security hologram of him killing younglings."
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, but I'm just saying, if they did say that, that would have been a lot funnier in context. Like, if they just like went, to, like, you killed younglings. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Erin, you're a horrible person.
She said younglings. It's a hilarious word.
Oh my god. Okay, I want to touch on another thing with the Anakin Padme relationship, and this is going into the second movie as well.
Okay.
When we first see Padme in the first movie, she's a strong queen. She's tough. She's fighting battles. Yes, she has a decoy and everything. I understand that, but I was reading one of the again outside book, reading a book about it. It was really interesting to get her perspective on the whole thing and hating to have decoys. But anyway, you get to the second movie and she becomes his play toy, basically. She's following him around like a little lost puppy. He's treating her like the damsel in distress. She gets captured with them. I understand. They all get captured, but you have her falling down a sandhill because, she falls off of a ship. And she became the damsel in distress in the second movie and then became even more damsel in distress in the third movie. And it really bothered me. It's like with a lot of the movies where you introduce an interesting female character. Once you reveal her secret, in this case, Amidala is Padme, Padme's Amidala, then she loses her curiosity. She loses her interest, so she just kind of falls back into the random female character, and the writers don't know what to do with her. That bothered me even more.
I think for the third movie, I can kind of excuse it because she was pregnant. I don't see someone who's pregnant running around and doing all these action hero-y things. The second movie, I will give you credit for it. I think they did strip her away a bit more than they should have. Third one, I can kind of excuse for the situation, but it's still kind of a flimsy excuse.
Right. I see where you're coming from, but and the reason that I didn't mind it as much is because Padme's major strength was political. I mean, she was an amazing politician and a strong woman in that right. And she wanted to stand up for herself, which she got to shine in the first movie because it was a very political movie. But then in the second movie, it's like, okay, so these guys are sending bounty hunters after you. And while you're a very strong person, your skills don't apply here. So I need you to go with this Jedi that is actually a really badass fighter who will protect you. And even towards the end of that, we saw her being able to, fire laser rifles and actually trying to keep up with them. But
yeah, when the
episode
party was
2,
over,
she's out of her element. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I don't feel like they did her wrong because she was out of her element at that point.
Well, she was firing blasters and everything like that in the first movie too, when they ended up attacking the throne room. I mean, she was fighting in the first one too. That wasn't the first time she was shooting things and stuff like that. So technically, she's not out of her element. She has done that before. And the other thing I'll say with her is, and this is a very much catch-22 thing. Like, I was initially really frustrated in the third movie when she died. She just up and died, for reasons we can't explain. She's dying. She's lost the will to live. And I was furious about that because I would rather Anakin have killed her. However, I was reading a theory about it in that
A
what they
film theory?
a film theory. No, it was actually a different one. I was reading a theory that when oh my god, I'm forgetting his name. Emperor Palpatine came to rescue Anakin, he was actually taking not Leia. Wow, Padme's Force energy. He was taking Padme's Force energy and putting that into Anakin to save his life. That's how Palpatine knew when Amidala died, was because he snipped it off and gave it to Anakin. That is the only redeeming thing that I'm like.
I feel like that's a little weak.
It was a very compelling article, and it makes me less angry than what I was before, where it was like, oh, Anakin was mean to me, I'm just gonna die after having my children.
I personally like to believe that she was so annoying that Obi-Wan just smothered her with a pillow.
God.
He should have smothered Anakin. Or
he would have, but he thought he was left for dead.
You don't leave him for dead. How many times do people have to realize this? If you want the fight to end, cut off the fucking head. Kill
But
the
at the end of the day, he couldn't bring himself to actually do the final blow, so he trusted it to the lava. Yes, it's entirely his fault that he survived and left, but I see where he was coming from.
Yeah, but
I also think he was. I also think he was trying to make Anakin suffer more by letting him live in pain than just put him out of his misery.
That completely negates what Ryan said, and that he couldn't deliver the final blow. But isn't he doing a dick move by if I slice your head off, it's instant death, no pain. But no, I'm going to leave you to the fire so you can roast to death.
My logic there, though, is that he killed all. Okay, he didn't directly do it, but he killed basically all of the Jedi and had put the entire universe out of balance. I think it was more of a punishment for all the crap he did up to that point.
I don't see Obi-Wan being that vengeful.
Not really vengeful, but just trying to, he's always been trying to instruct Anakin. I think that was his way of trying to instruct him, is just like, listen, you brought all this pain and suffering, everybody. You need to deal with that same pain and suffering to understand exactly what they're going through.
Yeah, but he didn't learn from it. I mean, he was dying and he was still screaming, I hate you, I hate you. Like, he didn't learn anything from it. He was dying anyway. Just put the bastard out of his misery and make sure that he is dead.
I honestly think he just couldn't do the final blow, so he left him to the mountain, thinking that he was going to die.
I mean, that still brings up something, though. I mean, if you look in our society, and granted, there are a lot of differences in, like an Earth society, an actual, society, and the Star Wars, and societies in Star Wars. However, there's still the whole idea of, in my opinion, I think there would still be the whole idea of humane execution, even if that was what he was going for. Like, you don't, in most countries, you don't, kill somebody by fire anymore. That's not, an execution.
Unless you're a witch.
Unless you're a witch in Salem, Massachusetts.
Burn the witch!
And then,
a couple of 100 years ago.
And I don't know, you're like a guy named John Proctor or something.
Well, you gotta remember that this is a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, so for all we know, fire was just normal for execution.
Burn the witch!
Erin, pack up your desk. Just leave. No. Just leave. No.
I mean, still, even if you're gonna execute somebody, because, I mean, obviously there had to be some type of punishment for, I don't know, killing, a whole bunch of kids.
Killing everybody.
Killing everybody and leading to essentially the downfall of a whole civilization.
Civilizations, if you think about it.
I think that's kind of punishable by some means. Then again, I guess there's no society, so who's going to punish him?
Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan, but I feel
burn, baby, burn.
Ha.
I mean, if you think about it, the chance that Anakin was very lucky to make it out of that alive. Like,
Look, if Heisenberg can possibly make out the final episode alive, I think it was pretty plausible that Anakin could. So.
Well, remember, Obi-Wan was under the impression that Yoda was going to go and kill Palpatine. So he didn't think Anakin would have any backup.
Yeah, but he's
True.
still
So
leaving
Yoda
his...
failed. So
True.
once Yoda failed,
So it's all Yoda's fault.
Palpatine was able to find him and save him.
It's because they turned him into the 3D thingy animated instead of
A puppet.
having the puppet.
Yeah.
Yoda sucked after that.
Well,
I don't know. And it was probably because I was like 12, 13 when episode 2 came out, but I loved it when Yoda pulled out the lightsaber and went nuts. I was outdone. I freaked out in the middle of the theater. It was amazing.
Meanwhile, I sat there and was just laughing like, really? Really? Really?
Well, think about it, though. The whole prophecy thing, Yoda was pushing for. I mean, Qui-Gon pushed for it first, but Yoda was kind of like the big pusher of it after the fact. And that's kind of what led to everyone sort of falling victim to believing Anakin would save him, then Anakin betrayed him. But then, the fact he failed to kill Palpatine, I think everything's all his fault now. It's all Yoda's fault. He's the true villain.
It's all Jar Jar's fault because he was the one that made the motion in the Senate to give Palpatine emergency powers in time.
But if you really think
How
about
the
it,
hell did he get to the Senate? He's like the frickin' Donald Trump of the Star Wars.
I can answer that for you, Aaron, because secretly Jar Jar's actually a Sith.
I'm gonna murder you.
see, guys, I have a new theory. Jar Jar is the next viewer.
I hate your face.
No.
There's a whole theory we've got to address at some point. It won't be in this episode. It'll probably be in the episode 7 discussion. But Jar Jar is a Sith leader, and it's because of him and Palpatine working together that everything fell apart. He was supposed to fight Yoda, but he had better things to do.
Aaron, if Jar Jar makes any sort of appearance in the 7th movie, I'm going to come and find you, and I'm going to hurt you.
Oh my god.
What if he becomes the most badass Sith ever?
Okay.
No!
So I'm on
his own foot and stab himself with his lightsaber.
Even
Get
on
out
All
of
the
here.
clumsiness is just a ruse.
on
Bullshit.
Reddit. Jar Jar Binks was a trained Force user, knowing Sith collaborator, and will play a central role in The Force Awakens. Thanks.
Yes!
I really hope not.
I hate you people.
Honestly
I
hope
hate you
not.
people.
If it happens, I will be nothing but joy.
Because if he shows up, I'm gonna have the hardest time taking him seriously.
No, Max, I am not even reading that. Screw you.
It's not like it's my it's not like it's my Reddit account.
No.
Or something.
No, I will not read it.
By the way, it's not actually my Reddit account.
What is it,
Okay.
Max?
It's somebody else's Reddit account.
Okay. But anyway, so going to the most disappointing things in the prequel movies, I do want to point out the thing I was disappointed by most. Yes, the romantic scenes are bad, but for me, I always hated how in Episode 3, General Grievous was just the most disappointing character of the whole thing.
Yes, agreed.
Because prior to the release of that movie, there was a short mini-series of 2D Clone Wars, mini episodes. And for an entire, I think 10 to 20 arc episode of that, he was literally the most badass character, fighting multiple Jedi and just taking them out one by one. I thought, that's got to be the coolest villain ever. How are they going to make this guy work? Is he going to be out before the movie? And it led it up to having him actually be in the movie, and I'm thinking, okay, for this guy to make sense, you do have to show the kidnapping of Palpatine to explain why he's such a threat, and why he's so important, and then also why he even has the breathing difficulties. Because that is all explained in the Clone Wars little cartoon. But they never did it, so he just shows up in the movie and no one knows what the fuck's going on or who he is, and then he just kind of gets his ass kicked by one guy. It's like, oh, that's just kind of a waste of a character.
I can explain why.
I don't feel like he got his ass kicked by Obi-Wan. I think it was a good fight, but it was
a good fight, sure, but the fact that he could take on 4 Jedi prior to that without too much hassle, I gotta admit, I'm disappointed that they didn't show that at all.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from there, but truth be told, Obi-Wan's not just like any Jedi Master.
And I'm not saying he is either. I'm just saying, I want to show how intimidating this guy is, so that way we can make his victory over him even more impressive.
Yeah, no, I can agree with you on that. I can go with you on that, definitely.
Because, prior to that scene, and without the Clone Wars cartoon, he's just some robot, and he doesn't seem like he's that big a threat. So people who aren't as familiar with the expanded universe in any capacity are gonna be like, oh, this guy's just a big pushover. Why is this a big deal?
Right. I really wish I had known more about him before I saw the movies. Like, it makes me want to watch the Clone War cartoon because I want to know more about these characters.
That, and there's also a really good book prior to the episode 3 book that explains all of Grievous and all these other cool Jedi things going on at the time during the Clone Wars. Highly recommend that read. It's probably the best read for the Clone Wars era I could think of. Just
Unfortunately, it's no longer canon. Sorry.
I don't know if that one's actually I don't know if that one's no longer canon because it actually is directly tied to the movie.
We can hope. We can hope and pray.
I know the stuff after that, like all the New Republic stuff and the Sith era stuff is not canon. But stuff tied directly to the movie, I think, is a gray area at this point.
Yeah.
I will say probably the scene that I hated the most, absolutely hated, even more than the Anakin Padme bullshit, is when Mace Windu said, "This party is over." That was when I was done.
Oh yeah.
I was done.
I love how she keeps saying that. I think that scene is just hilarious and awesome.
I hate. That is
Wait a
George
second.
Lucas at his worst with dialogue.
Hold on, 1 second. I'm watching the video.
You're actually looking at the scene right now?
Will you link it? Because I'm having a hard time.
It's in Attack of the Clones when he invades not invades, but he shows up at the arena, and he's behind Dooku and Jango. Not Jango Unchained, just Jango Fett. And he's like, this party's over, and that's it.
And it makes me so furious beyond all fucking belief.
See, I think you're making a huge deal of it. I don't think it's that big.
It's not that bad, Erin.
Okay.
It doesn't work in that universe. It sounds so freaking
Why
goofy.
wouldn't it? It's just words.
This party is over. It sounds so stupid.
Do you think they don't have parties in the Star Wars universe?
I'm sure they do, but it was a stupid line. Stupid ass line.
Erin, this is maybe the best line in the whole movie.
Like,
Erin, you gotta remember, all the dialogue in that movie is bad. That's probably the best example of fun dialogue in that movie.
that's what. Oh, just no.
I'm just gonna play this on loop for the rest of. Okay, listen on repeat. I'm going to listen on repeat.
I mean, what's worse, that line or Anakin's whole discussion of sand? Because it's rough, it's coarse, and it gets everywhere.
That's true.
Including in my pants. I mean, just everywhere.
God damn it, Erin.
Your pants.
God.
Okay, Erin.
I get it out.
If the whole Star Wars movie was just Mace Windu,
I'd pay to see it.
Mace Windu.
I'd pay to see it.
I'd pay to see it.
No.
And there needs to be this party's over.
Now, can this be an R-rated version so he can actually say motherfucker every time he wants to? It's Samuel L. Jackson. Make use of that.
Okay, if they changed the line and said, "This party is over, motherfucker," okay, then I would accept that a little.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody close your eyes. I want you to...
I'm sorry. So this party's over it doesn't belong in the universe. But this party's over, motherfucker, is somehow more acceptable in the Star Wars
works
universe.
better. It's more believable.
Okay, so I want you...
I'm shaking my head at you, Erin.
Such a fickle creature.
I don't care.
I want you all to close your eyes real quick, okay? Imagine a bar in Tatooine, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a door. It's one of those sliding doors that goes up and down.
Okay.
Suddenly it gets kicked in. There's Mace Windu. He has 2 purple lightsabers. He walks in the door. This party's over, motherfuckers.
I can go with that.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool, and that would make good money.
I was always really upset when he died because I'm like, he died in the most annoyingly stupid way possible. He was
really
right there.
did.
You could have just cut the guy's hand off. It was over.
I cheered, actually.
Why did you stop for
You are
to let
such a
Anakin
hater,
whine?
Erin. You are just a hater.
I love Samuel L. Jackson. I love him. He's awesome. I have no problem with him. What I have a problem with was that line, and I just wanted him to die after that.
You are a hater of the highest caliber. A single line, and you've cheered for his death.
Yep. Yep.
I am disappointed. I'm disappointed in you too, Bird.
Okay, actually, there is something that I'm watching the death scene right now from Ace Winfrey, right?
Okay.
And something that I do need to. He has like, okay, that. So he had the Emperor like
In a corner.
in the corner, and he spends the time to talk to him.
Yeah, no, fuck that. Just cut his hand off. It's over.
Like, at this
Oh, so
point,
that's where Obi-Wan learned it from. Just
You're a
saying.
jerk, Aaron.
But no, like, here's my thing, though. Why did he let Anakin and he let the Palpatine monologue him to death? I mean, come on, guys. Just go for it. I mean, you're just standing there talking. It's like, you have the sword, you have the window open, just throw him out of it before they do it to you.
You caught me monologuing, you sly dog!
I like to personally believe that when Windu got thrown out of that window, though, he landed on someone's car and was able to fly away to safety.
He was on his arm!
He had one arm.
Yeah, he had an arm. And he has the Force. You don't need both arms to give the Force. Luke and Darth Vader are proof of that.
Hey, Birds, how does that work for you, flying with one wing, huh? Want to test it?
He doesn't have to fly. He just has to grab a car and just go. I mean, there's cars flying all over the place. You could see that scene. There's cars flying everywhere.
Oh, he probably landed on a motherfucking plane with some motherfucking snakes.
okay,
That would have been awesome.
Okay, so there's one thing while we're on the. I remember we discussed that like the whole canon thing, right? And this actually ties into the Clone Wars.
Okay.
There
Okay.
is one thing that really makes me upset. Is not canon.
What's that?
I can't remember if it was a comic book or just a normal book. I can't remember. I remember coming across it again while looking at some lore stuff, and it said it wasn't canon anymore. However,
That's sad.
there was a clone trooper unit that got stuck on a planet, and all their communications were down. When Order 66 was given,
They didn't get it.
they didn't get it. So like 26 years later, the rebels land on like the planet, and only one of the clone troopers are left. And he's like, "Hey, so you're with the Republic?" And they're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, let's go kill the droids." And they're like, "Wait, droids? What?" And he ended up fighting with the rebels.
That's sad.
That's good, though. Actually, no, that's a good story.
No. I mean, it's good. It's just really sad. It reminds me of it reminds me of those old Japanese soldiers who just get found like in those like bunkers or whatever many years later, and they think the war's still going on.
Yep.
Yeah, like he was legitimately confused when they landed and said that they were fighting stormtroopers because
He's like,
they were bad.
Storm what?
What are stormtroopers? I know what clone troopers are. What are these?
Are they like the storm cloaks? What's that all about?
Lost on a desert island, but of course they have Skyrim, so they
Yep.
know what a stormcloak is.
He played it before he left.
Oh my god.
like I thought that's like the most sad thing ever though. Like,
So, question: did he get out of it alive? I actually don't know that story.
did he get off the planet?
Yeah, did he survive or did he get killed by the rebels?
No, he fights for the rebels later
Oh,
on.
he joins them. Okay, I thought you meant
Yeah.
he fought the rebels. Okay.
No, like he fights for them against.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Okay, it's less sad now. I actually enjoy that. It's a cool idea.
But like, if you think about it, how sad is that? Like, some guys come down. All you've known for the last 26 years is this one planet,
And this war you're supposed to be fighting that you can't.
and like you're basically useless in one war. They come down and they're like, oh yeah, the war was won, kinda.
We won. You lost.
But all of your like kin are kind of Hitler now. Okay, not like I'm using Hitler as a metaphor, by the way. They weren't literally Hitler, I don't think. Did they gas Jews?
I don't know.
Did they-
Yeah.
Sure, let's go with it.
Did you seriously just ask that?
It was a joke, Aaron.
Max, get out. Just get
Um,
out.
You
So
know what?
we-
This party's over.
Shameful
I will
display.
reach through the computer and strangle you.
So
Dude,
we have hit the
shame.
half-hour mark, guys. So how do we want to wrap up this first prequel discussion?
We didn't even talk about what we liked. We just
Yeah, we
talked
did.
about all of
Oh
our
yeah,
hates.
we did talk about our favorite movies. We didn't talk about what we like. Okay, so before we leave, favorite scenes or moments from the movies. What would you guys say?
Order 66 scene. I kind of like that.
That was a beautifully tragic scene. That
It was.
was a well done scene.
Lightsaber battle in the third movie. Final lightsaber battle in the third movie.
You mean between Anakin and Obi-Wan, or Yoda and Palpatine?
No, Anakin and Obi-Wan.
I would say mine is a tie between the Obi-Wan and Anakin fight and Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon versus Darth Maul.
Damn it, you took mine!
That was my favorite too.
It's my tie. That's tie. They managed to recreate, to create something close to that in the third one, which was amazing.
It is a toss-up between those two, but I'm going to edge out to the Liam Neeson one, because you do see that moment where at the end Obi-Wan sees his master fall, and he's like, he has to step up and he has to take over now.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like a coming-of-age fight for him.
No. That was actually something different. Instead of him being like, okay, I have to accept responsibility, that's him tapping into the dark side for a quick second. That's him saying, that guy is going to die. I am going to kill him.
Yeah,
but
was the face. That was the face he had.
True as that is, he did have to step up, and he was well aware of that fact.
Like, his whole thing was like, nope, he's dying. He came at him with rage as opposed to serenity like a Jedi is supposed to have. Yeah. So he actually attacked him with the dark side, which was very, very interesting to see.
But I think that also rounded out his character quite a bit more than anyone else.
It did.
Definitely.
I love the dichotomy of where you have, Qui-Gon kneeling on the ground, meditating before that final fight, and Obi-Wan is just, like, standing there panting. You have Darth Maul pacing, but, Qui-Gon fights with skill, with confidence, with
because he's Liam Neeson.
I know. But he has that harmony that a Jedi Master is supposed to have. He's an older guy. He's exhausted, and I mean, Darth Maul he got him. He just got him. But then you have, Serenity is down, so Obi-Wan's like, fuck this shit, and just goes tearing in.
Rage mode. Fucking rage mode.
It's over 9,000!
The only complaint that I have about the whole Order 66 scene, and I think this can be said for a lot of the movie, is that, right before Obi goes to Commander Cody, and he says some stuff.
Yeah.
Commander Cody is complete CGI, and it's pretty obvious. Like, I think if they're, like, an important character kind of to the story like that, I don't think they should be CGI.
No, fair argument. So I think my issue with the Order 66 scene, and I like the scene, don't get me wrong, but I think my big issue with that one was that so many of the characters you see get killed off, they never really got characterized. So, I mean, you understand that they're Jedi, you understand it's important that their death is horrible, but it's still like, it loses a little bit of the impact when it's like, I don't know who that guy is, I just know he's got a glowy stick, so I know he's a Jedi.
Right, they really should have introduced at least a couple more of the Jedi, and we watched them die, because I think we would have felt a lot more. Like, some of them I do know just because of the stuff I've read, but,
what you could have done is cut away so much of the bullshit in episode 2 and introduce more Jedis in that one, so when episode 3 came out and they all died, we would have, like, oh no, he was my favorite guy in episode 2.
Right. Well, most of the Jedi that are actually shown dying in Order 66 are members of the Jedi Council.
Well, no, I know, but
we have actually seen those guys.
But you don't see them do much outside of sit in a room and then show up at that one arena and then get killed.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Honestly, I don't think it was enough to fit it into 3 movies. I think that was the major problem. There was a lot more that they should have gone into, so maybe, even though that would have, like, broken the symmetry of having 3 movies per era, it still would have explained a lot more.
I think they had enough time to do it, they just spent their time on meaningless shit sometimes. So I think they had enough time to do it right, they just didn't.
Yeah. Agreed.
Thank you, birds.
Yep. With that, I think we've wrapped up the prequel discussion. So final thoughts on the prequels, guys? Good, bad, recommend, don't recommend? What do you guys think?
Watch 1 and 3, skip 2. You don't need it.
Actually, I'd say watch 2 and 3, then go back to see Darth Maul versus Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, and then.
Hold on, my mic's messing up.
Okay. For me, watch episode 3 for sure. Fast forward to the part where the party's over in 2, and then just watch the rest of that. And then for episode 1, just find the Ashton Kutcher version. That's all you need to see.
Yes.
Good luck with that, though. I have not had any luck finding it.
Okay, my mic's working. What was the question again?
Recommend, don't recommend prequel movies?
Final thoughts.
I think, like, if I recommend watching them, if, like, just to get it over with. But, like, definitely, like, watch it just once. And even then, if the scene doesn't seem very, necessary, just skip it.
Just skip.
You know what? Just watch all, like, Liam Neeson and Mace and Samuel L. Jackson's.
That's really all you need to see. Alright, so thanks for joining us, and tune in next time when we talk about the original movies, unless we did that first to confuse you, in which case, tune in next time when we talk about something else completely about Star Wars.